everybody. This is going to be a great show with Mr. Ron. He's already up and running.
I indeed am. Good to be here, Valerie.
It's great to have you on, Stefan. And I don't need to introduce you because I'm going to let you introduce yourself.
Oh my Lord.
Do you want to sing
Uh,
it or do you want to?
Well, very, very short. My name is Stefan Avivson. People call me Mr. Raw. I'm a 47-year-old, probably 48-year-old, foolish serial entrepreneur and a musician who built 15 companies, had 5 exits and 2 major bankruptcies. And the past 10 years, I've been working as a mentor slash coach, although I'm not really a coach. I would presume any of my clients would say you're not a coach, Stefan. Uh, but I'm a motivator, and I've been around. I've been in every aspect of a company. I raised millions and millions of money, and I wasted millions and millions of money too. So here I am, currently residing in the United Kingdom. I'm from Denmark, hence my accent. It's a little tiny country in Europe. Yay.
A tiny country with a big attitude.
Absolutely. But not big enough for me. That's why I moved. But that's another story.
Well, I am really excited to have you on the show today. And I will call Stefan out on mentoring because obviously we've had a relationship that way. And I'm going to have him show his black sheep on his t-shirt really quick. And that is so you will often see Stefan wearing this t-shirt. And and he has a story behind all of that. But the main thing is this show is all about from spark to company and helping founders actually um, grow companies and some of the great successes and some of the pitfalls and to avoid it. And so, anyways, you talked about your 15 companies, you talked about bankruptcy, you talked about spending money, earning money, doing all of this kind of thing. And typically I'll say, okay, there's tons of entrepreneurs running around there. I have had that dawning realization since I was 10 years old. And even in companies, I've been an entrepreneur, like inside of a company.
Hmm?
What would be one thing that you would tell organizations that are entrepreneurs that are starting their journey? What, just some piece of advice?
Um, if I only could give one advice
How
to
about
an,
three? I know you're full of them.
yeah, but let me stick to this one because I actually think that's the bit that's the real trouble for most, and that is you have to speak to customers. And for some people, especially very successful entrepreneurs, they're like, "What are you talking about?" Yes, that's what I'm talking about. I'm talking about speaking to customers because I just learned throughout my life. I didn't know it myself, but I realized 12 years ago when I got out of my deep depression after building and failing a unicorn, and my mother died, and life happened. I got out of my depression by learning from an Indian shaman who said, "What makes you most happy is by helping other people without asking anything in return." And I took that in and I started helping founders like a maniac, actually, I would say in the beginning. And it turned out it really makes you happy when you start helping people without asking anything in return. And the main thing I realized talking to these founders that most of them are building something. You can say they're building something inside a cave. And they can spend 3 months, they can spend 3 years, they can even spend 10 years. And when they come out of the cave, they realize nobody wants to buy their shit. And I've seen that so many times. One of my testimonials on my LinkedIn is actually from a founder. He spent $3, $4 million on a startup. And then I asked him to go and call some of his potential customers. And they said, we don't need it. We don't need it. And he was so happy. He wrote me a testimonial because he just saved $6 million additionally. And that's the whole key. There's no reason to build something. Of course, we are all passionate as a founder. I've built 15 companies, so I'm dumb and foolish as well, believing in some dream that might not be a dream for anyone else but me. Uh, so, in order to become a successful founder, you simply need to jump into something that is called reality.
Yeah.
And the reality comes from your customers
Mhm.
because either they want to buy something from you or they don't want to buy something from you. And the real key here is to find out why they don't want to buy from you or even why they would like to buy from you. Because we know Simon Sinek knows his why and stuff like that. But that's a beautiful single case on Apple. Most companies don't know their why in reality, and they have to find it. And it was during COVID, I remember, especially VCs around the world, when VCs were actually having money and stuff like that. They 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 profoundly said we help our portfolio companies achieving their product market fit. I was like, really? What the hell is product market fit? Everybody was talking about product market fit.
Mhm.
And I remember it was an American VC. I asked him, just let me ask you, what is product market fit? And he kept talking for 12 minutes, rowing in his canoe, trying to explain what the old town father of one of them at least of the modern VC, Mark Andreessen, he generally just tweeted something 14 years ago or when it was about product market fit. And since then, because he's a rock star within the space before startup founders were rock stars, actually, it became a thing, but it's not even a theory. Uh, it's just a blurb. It's just a
It's just a
blurb, just a
blurb.
little tweet. I generally want to ask Mark one day if I get the opportunity. Well, how did that feel? Because that must have been weird. It's like with ADHD, which is the most funky famous thing anyone can talk about.
Everybody's got
Wants
it.
to Everyone wants it. Everybody's got it. And reality is actually, I can't remember his name now, of course, but the scientist who wrote the thesis about ADHD, he spent the rest of his life after the big corporations took the brand into to their medicine so they could sell more medicine to children. He
Mhm.
spent the rest of his life trying to say, listen, it was just a theory. I was wrong.
Yeah. Yeah.
And when I look at product market fit, I see it quite simple. And that's probably also why people call me Mr. Raw, because if things are not simple, they're simply not right. Um, and product market fit is when your market wants to buy your product.
A novel thing.
I can even extend it as soon as your market wants to buy your product on the same premises as you want to buy your product, you have achieved product market fit.
You do. You do.
And the only way you can find out, which is also funny to think about for most startups, because most startups pivot at some time.
Yeah.
I think Twitter is one of the most famous cases, but most companies pivot, um, and the fun part is they pivot when they start understanding why their customers buy from them.
Yes.
Because first, then you can start creating the product towards that market you want to sell to.
Well,
So,
and it's so interesting that you say that because I always ask the question, like of sales teams, why do people buy?
that's the most insane thing because no. One of my companies is called Raw Research. I started it in COVID because of this discrepancy with the VC talking about product market. I was like, what the hell?
Uh-huh.
So I started talking to founders. I asked them, "Do you know why your customers buy from you?" The first meeting I had was with four different founders, and they literally started shouting at each other at the meeting because they didn't agree.
Yeah.
Uh, I have now conducted what you call a raw reality check, where you simply ask first you ask your employees and then you ask your customers three simple questions. The first question is, why did you buy from us? The second question is, how likely are you to recommend us to another customer? It's called the Net Promoter Score. And the third question is, how can we improve?
Hmm.
The crazy thing about this, when you ask 10 people in the same organization, you will max. You have some companies actually understand because they talk to their customers
Hmm.
and took them serious and shit. But if you ask 10 different people in an organization, you usually get something in between 5 to 8 different answers. The fun part is when you ask the customers,
Yeah.
almost always, like around 80% of the customers say the same.
Yeah.
And when you look at what that actually is, the reason why customers buy from us, from a company perspective, that's actually the only reason why this company exists.
Yes. And I have no idea why Alex Hermosi talks about this sort of sales led or product led. And I'm like, it's a no-brainer. If you lead with the customer, then you have a company. If you lead with the product, then you're going to be in competitor land with all the widgets that are on Amazon. So at the end of the day,
Yeah.
you and when I throw that question out, I actually have a an interesting event that I conduct, but I ask just business owners, period. I'm like, why do people buy? And the answer is very simple. And I have to give credit to somebody who taught me this probably 15 years ago. and I and ever all the people started rattling off reasons that they buy, reasons that the customers buy, all the 50 zillion. Well, it's solving a need, and it was very simple. They
The,
buy
the
for
fun,
their reasons. So if
oh,
you don't ask them, you won't have any way to
oh,
know.
and the stats are wild. Uh, if you put 100 founders into one room,
Uh-huh.
100 CEOs, and you ask them, why do you think your customers buy from you?
Hmm.
Only four of all these 100 people know why. That means 96%.
Don't know.
You need to think about when you think about it. No, 96, almost all companies on this planet are building and growing and trying to survive in a reality that is not the real one.
That's true. That's so true. And then they try to add sales team members to sell something that they don't even have reality on. I'm just like, really?
Yeah.
You think they're going to be able to come up with your reality and the reason and we know self-loathing behavior and it's like if people can't get behind it because they don't understand the reason that they're solving the need and the challenge,
Mhm.
then there's a huge thing. That's a huge thing. I don't believe there's any such thing as, you know, innovate. Everybody says innovation. I call it repurposing because I don't think that there is anything that people couldn't have done clear million, hundreds of years ago had they come to the realization of reorganizing what it was. So anyway, so
Speaking
you would
about
have to
Amazon, by
understand
the
the
way, speaking about Amazon,
rules.
to get back to your question, what is the number one thing? Because I've helped so many people now, and I got
Oh,
tired. I got tired, Valerie, of repeating myself day
yeah,
after day after day. So when I onboard a new client, the first thing I tell them, read my book.
yeah.
It's called How You Speak to Customers.
Hmm.
And the whole thing is when you understand your customers, when you know the reasons why your customers buy from you, and when you know how to speak to them, and when you know how to sell. Most people, especially salespeople, don't know how to sell. Because you can read the book about it. I know you read it anyway, but
You're doing it really fast, so it's hard for them to actually see. But one thing that's really cool is it's a fun read. That's number one. Number two, it's like Mr. Raw, it's not 1,000 pages.
no,
It's
no,
very simple.
it started being 400 pages, around 400 pages, and I just stripped it down. I removed all the fluff.
Yeah.
So, and what that's what my, most readers are saying. I'm not learning anything new, but now I understand what I've been doing.
Yeah. Yeah. I think I think the nice thing about the topic that you picked and everything along with that is trying to get organizations to understand that nothing exists unless you're solving a need and a challenge multiple times. For multiple, you mean,
Repeatable.
yeah. And I get some who bag on Zig Ziglar, but actually Zig Ziglar, even though he was very evangelistic, as you would call it, he actually talked about value. And value is that exchange, right? So we know that building that value has to start with talking to the customer because you won't know what that value is. And I don't care if you're from Harvard. I saw a Harvard professor going, yeah, you build the value chain. And I'm going, doesn't it just, it's self-evident if you've talked to the customer what the value is.
And,
Right?
and any listener would say, no, 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 I read this book and no, I'm sorry to say, it's as simple as that. Speak
It's,
to your customers. I would say at least half of the people I have spoken to throughout my life, being a mentor these past 10 years, they stop being an entrepreneur because they start talking to the customers and realize what they do is it's not going to work.
yeah, yeah. Well, it might be a bubble burst for some of those. I was thinking about the release of the latest version of AI, which was only, it's been around forever, but, and I was thinking about all these agents and how they're building a business on agents. And I felt like it was a bit of a slippery slope because it was basically getting into the professional services but with AI and
Mhm.
how quickly you can build a product and an agent around it. And so how are you going to make billions off of an AI agent? Any different than workflows or anything else? And
Mhm.
I think it was the latest greatest and you know me, and you do as well. I use it left and right? But at the end of the day, again, I feel like that became more of sort of a product led, the agents themselves, maybe not the foundations of Claude and the rest of them, but ChatGPT. But are you still following the same process, right? Because internet's been around, all of that has been around for a long time. It's a different way to actually make the workflows and everything else work for you. But are you actually talking and speaking with the customer of the agent that you build? Because I get like 100 pings on LinkedIn alone saying they have the newest agent. and would I test it? Yeah. I'm like,
I think I have two good pictures on this because we're getting old, Valerie. So we remember, no, we remember,
some of us are older than others in this.
27, 30 years ago, you had the whole world saying, nah, that internet, that's not something.
Yeah.
That'll end tomorrow.
Yeah.
Before that, we don't remember that, but once upon a time, several
I
hundred
do.
years ago, there was something. There was someone who invented toilet paper, and in the beginning, people were like, why should I use paper? I wash myself. They still do that in many parts of the world.
Yeah.
And then at some point, you know what one did? He put it in the toilet, next to the toilet, which is what I see all the agents are doing. We invented the toilet paper. Now people are bringing them into the toilet, into the way, what do you call it, the room next to it, so you can start using it. You can even use toilet paper in the kitchen. If you've got greasy hands, you can use toilet paper to so many things.
Yes.
And that's the whole point about AI agents these days. I would say number one, if you really don't know what we're talking about when we're saying AI and AI agents, this is now. You have
Yeah.
to do it's not fun anymore. It's not like, no, I don't believe it. It's going to end tomorrow. It's
Yeah.
not ending tomorrow.
Yeah.
It's a new beginning, like the internet was. It's in my sense, at least for what I can imagine in my own head, the last real big shift in human kind, in human civilization. And that makes it quite interesting, especially if you don't know what it is, because then you don't know what hit you. I'm not saying that AI is going to go evil or anything. I'm just saying it's time to find out how you use toilet paper. It's beneficial for your ass.
It definitely is. It's a good analogy. With that said, there's many competitors to toilet paper at this point in the game,
Absolutely.
and there
Oh,
are
you have the
AI.
heavy ones, you have the long ones.
Yeah, and there are so many AI agents running around the globe. So listen to your dang customers on when you're creating them, because if you're creating a Me Too and all it is riding that wave, you're not listening to the customer and what they need and their differentiation. So that's kind of part of it.
Because AI is beautiful.
It is.
I actually thought I'm writing three different books now. Writing a book just got me hooked. In January, hopefully, I'm releasing a book called How You Speak to Investors because I raised a lot of money in my life and
Yeah.
helped a lot of people to do that as well. And most people I've helped and talked to about investment and stuff like that, they simply don't know what it is, what the space is.
I
Uh,
think you told me stay away from them.
Absolutely.
And did I listen? No.
No, the reason is pretty clear. Here we spoke about VC's venture capital. The point is, as soon as you get an investment from a VC, you are 95% secure that you will fail.
Mm,
That's not your business model. That's not your scheme, but that's the VC scheme. They like to invest in 10, 20 companies and hoping for one of or two of them go crazy
yeah.
and then leave the rest or try to get out of those deals on the end of it. So it's two different business models working against each other actually, where only the real fears and the real juice, the real toilet paper actually get sold.
Mm,
And that's very important. The investment sector in that manner hasn't really changed much the past 50. 50 years, 60 years since Silicon Valley started becoming a thing after they invented those silicon chips. Uh,
I live right around the corner from, I grew up right around the corner from there.
it's just new words and new ways of explaining the same.
Yeah,
And the real part here is if you are not capable of creating traction, if you're not capable of creating or gaining revenue, if you're not capable of doing these things, or at least get people persuaded by just saying what it is without even showing them what it is, you will most likely have nothing anyway.
yeah,
And then, yes, you say, oh, what about this product? What about this product? What about, yeah, but what about the 99% of the other products that didn't come there?
yeah,
People tend to forget all those who lose. And that's why it has always, it's not a new thing that the investors are now saying that, well, I need to see some revenue. We don't invest in revenue. No, that's because they realize in the VC in the VC space that the likelihood for success is crazy low if you don't even have revenue or even can create a dollar or a cent on the bank account
yeah, yeah.
because you haven't gotten out of the cave yet. You have to get out of the cave. I'm talking about Plato's riddle of the
Allegory
cave.
of the cave.
Allegory.
Yes.
Get out of the cave, talk to people, talk to customers,
Yeah,
because then you'll know. You
yeah,
simply will know, and this is where you, and that's the, I also see with founders, including you, is that when you speak to the customers, wow, your universe that you're building expands like crazy, but it also systematizes and gets solid, and that's how you create a real foundation for a company going forward.
yeah, yeah, yeah. And it's such great advice. So at the end of the day, Mr. Raw has a book out that he already talked about, speaking to the customer. And I think that what is so amazing about this dialogue is a lot of founders that I talk to or successes that I've talked to, they rarely talk about the failures because they want to be seen as the actual unicorn. And it's kind of like why, right? I mean, it's kind of a why, because the failure rate is so high. So why wouldn't you look also at those who have actually had the win, the losses, and everything in between? It's muddy. We
Listen,
sit in the mud
Valerie.
together, you know?
The first American investor I got on board in one of my companies, I closed him. We were haggling for 3, 4 months, and then we met and had a beer, had a pint of beer, and talked. I like to talk a lot, of course. So I said, yeah, back when I went bankrupt, and he said, what? I said, yeah, back when I went bankrupt. You went bankrupt? Why didn't you tell me that before? Let's close the deal. I'm ready.
Yeah,
The point is, if you don't fail, you don't know how to win.
yeah, yeah,
I,
yeah,
I wrote a song after my depression. To stand tall, you must fall.
yeah,
And the only way to progress in life, also when you think about it in general life, you only progress when you are in failure. You don't develop on a human spiritual level when you're having success.
yeah,
So I don't think that the failure rate will change. I still believe it's going to be one out of I don't know 100,000 who actually create something big wherever they are on an annual schedule. Uh, but you might as well fail faster. I know people also wrote books about this. but
Hmm.
it's not to do about the company or anything. It's about you embracing that it's cool to fail. I actually, and I'm still failing. I'm not perfect, but I failed so much now, Valerie. I actually start enjoying it because every time you fail, you get to change your perspective.
Yeah,
But in a cognitive way, you get to rewire your brain in a new and better way that enables you to be more successful with who you are going
yeah,
forward.
yeah,
And it's not about creating a big success, commercial success. In the end, it's about having a successful life, meaning you had a good life.
yeah, yeah. And that is very true. So we're going to leave with that today. It's amazing. I'm so grateful you came on the show today. I always love talking to Stefan. I'm going to tell you right now, you will love talking to Stefan. You should catch up with him. He's on LinkedIn. He's all over the place. It will be in the show notes and everything. Thank you for joining us today, Stefan.
Thank you for listening.
Always. I may not look like it, but I mean, I am listening.
Thank you very much.
And thanks everybody for listening and have a blessed day.